Barely in here.
I am not. Look there.
Space over here on this. There we go.
There, is that better?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I don't like being the center.
You don't like a bowl. Whatever. Hi, guys. So we're going to talk about foraging today. We're going to give it some time for everybody to come in here. We're starting a little early today. There's my notification that I'm live.
Yeah. All right. We're live. We're officially live because it's so on the phone, so it's official. We can talk about anything you guys want tonight, but we definitely said we would talk about foraging last week. Yeah. And so we're going to honor that. And we have a guest. We have a featured guest here tonight.
We do?
Yeah, we do. We have a featured guest here tonight. We're going to talk about foraging.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Featured guest.
Yes.
So when you come in, say hi so we know who's here.
I'm here. Hi.
Hi. This is Carrie. And I'm Cindy. Hi, everybody. So, busy week this week on the homestead. Really busy.
Yeah, I've been helping with different people put calves out on grass, and we sold the calves that we had invested in this week, and so we
bought some more.
Yeah, we bought some more, and we'll still buy some more probably. This week we got to be on Two Family Homesteads Live last Monday. We were on Two Family
Homesteads Live Monday. That was so fun. So if you haven't checked that out, go over there and check that out. We did my birthday. Gary put together a really nice scavenger hunt, so you can go check that out. And we just uploaded some exciting news that happened today. So go check out our latest short and see what happened today on the homestead if you haven't already. It was super fun.
And we'll probably talk about it
tonight. Yeah, I'm sure we will talk about it.
One person in here. Who are you? Who are you? And whoever's there, I can only be talking to you because you're the only person, right?
And I'm going to eat a cookie. No, I'm not going to eat a cookie.
We've been working in the garden.
We have been working in the garden. We got a lot of rain. So
we'd worked in the garden until we got that rain.
Until we got the rain, trying to prep. We're quite a bit behind, but they're talking cold temperatures again this week.
It's like our weather's
going to take
behind.
Our weather's behind, so we're not behind. We're going to be fine. Supposed to get down to 24 one morning. I can't remember if that's Wednesday morning's low. Check out my handy dandy box, and it'll tell me what they predict the weather to be.
Connection is unstable.
Lovely.
Wait while we try to connect.
Huh. Too many people on the internet.
Are you the one person in here? Are you in?
Wednesday morning's low is 24. And 2 people in here. Hi, guys. And Thursday morning is going to be 29. And we're supposed to get snow, 67.
Ben's over acres.
Hey, awesome. Ben's over acres. Hi. Thanks for commenting on our latest exciting video.
Yeah. We'll probably let the cat out of the bag. Or they weren't cats.
No, they weren't cats. So we got a frost warning for tomorrow. Luckily, we don't have anything outside that we have to worry about. Yep, frost warning. Nothing is outside that we have to worry about. I think I will disconnect my phone from the internet and see if that helps pick up our speed.
Okay. All right, so we're glad y'all are here, and we're going to talk about some stuff.
And seeing us from Two Family. We enjoyed Two Family. That was so much fun. Yes. Thank you for joining our family. That's one thing about YouTube that's been our absolute favorite thing is meeting new people and adding people to our family. Are you getting uncomfortable? Stretching out there a little bit?
My back is, I don't know, I worked construction for lots of years or something.
Something like that. Used it So we're going to talk foraging.
Yeah.
So what are some things that you would like to forage or that you do forage already, guys? We'll talk about some of the things we forage. We forage for mushrooms. We forage for wild onions. We forage for wild garlic, dandelion, asparagus, garlic. Two kinds of garlic: pawpaws, blackberries, mulberries, elderberries.
Yeah, elderberries. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, persimmons.
Persimmons, yes.
Persimmons. We do pick up some walnuts sometimes.
Walnuts.
And here is one that we definitely forage for. We picked some garlic mustard in the last few years. That's kind of was a new.
That was a new one that we really never did get a good taste for.
We picked some last year and it was kind of okay, and then we picked some this year. But
yeah.
morels, yes. We've hunted morels a little bit in the last week. We haven't found any yet.
No, our weather hasn't been cooperative.
Yeah, it's either been dry or cold.
Yep, dry or cold.
But we had just said we were going to have a special guest tonight, right? We told you guys that. And this is our special guest. This is a foraging thing that's overlooked by lots of people. But this time of year, it gets a little bit of attention because it's pretty well noticeable in your yard. This is a dandelion. And you notice I picked one that is completely all there. Roots, there's the root. Here's the stems and the leaves. There's a flower. There's a bud stem. Actually, that's a seed head stem. The seeds are already gone. I thought that was a closed bud. But yeah. So we watched somebody talking about.
It was Brie.
Yeah, talking about dandelions, and she just didn't like them. They were good. They were bitter. I'm gonna teach you guys a secret about foraging dandelions.
The greens.
The greens. When there is a flower stem on there, even when it's just a little bitty and starting down here, don't eat the greens. They're going to be bitter. They're going to taste like that kind of bitter bite that dandelions that's the bad taste of dandelions. Pick the greens before they ever put a flower head on. So
for most of you, it's too late to pick dandelion greens unless you find new ones.
Yeah.
They're just emerging.
And if they're in a shady spot, some of them, the flowers haven't come on good yet. Another thing you can do is in the fall, if you can find these and that they're not putting on flower heads, they're good too. The roots, you can use the roots about any time. When they have a flower head on, they are going to be a little more bitter. But I made some coffee out of some with flower heads on. And the way I made it turn out the best was I cut them off, I cleaned them up, left them on the counter for about 3 weeks and let them just dry out. And then I roasted them and made coffee out of them, and it wasn't very bitter. That if you're digging roots and they've got the flower heads on them, that's the way I would do that. Let it dry good and then roast it and make your coffee out of it. Now, this time of year is the time to pick one particular thing off a dandelion. It's the flower.
Yep.
The flower is very edible. And there's lots of ways to do it. There's a recipe I've seen that I'm going to try one of these days where they pulled a whole bunch of these, took the greens off of them, they put them in a bowl, and they mixed egg, flour, and I think onion powder and pepper. And they whipped it up and they made like little fritters, and they deep fried those little fritters out of dandelion flowers. So I'm going to try that one of these days. I never have. They make a great tea. Yeah. It's an amazingly good floral tea.
Yeah, with the flower. Yeah. You want to make sure you get all the green off the back.
You just want the orange parts.
You just want the yellow flower.
Yeah.
And you can put that little yellow flower without the green in a salad. You can dry that flower as well without the green and make tea out of it. You can put just the flower in olive oil and get that. I forgot what that word's called. Not tincture, but
That's an oil.
yeah, just get the and end up making a salve out of it.
Yeah. And that's good for arthritis and bruises and stuff like that.
And sore muscles.
Sore muscles. Yeah.
Ben's Over Acres says that they're in a drought.
Ooh.
I'm so sorry. We went through drought.
Yep.
We had a little bit of a drought last year, but several years ago there was a bad drought.
So that's our foraging guest tonight is our dandelion.
Dandelion. And we have broadleaf plantain is another thing that we forage, and now's a good time to identify it.
Yep. And it's medicinal and edible.
Yes.
Another one that we forage that I don't think we mentioned is sawbriar sprouts.
Yep, sawbriar.
Or greenbrier is another name for that. And the sprouts off of it is kind of asparagus-like.
Yeah.
It's good.
But mostly, our favorite thing to forage is the morels and the asparagus.
Yeah.
And then would be garlic and wild onions behind that.
Yeah. I went, well, I'd say mulberries and blackberries pretty high.
Those are pretty high on there too.
But I think we've done all that, and then we've missed my completely favorite one.
Oh.
Pawpaws.
Pawpaws. Yes. Yeah, pawpaws.
We pretty much like them all.
We like to forage.
Yeah.
We like to forage.
I went this week looking for morels. I did not find any. I did find a handful of fairly dried oyster mushrooms.
And we have some growing by the chicken house.
Yeah, and oysters are something we're just learning about. We picked some last fall, and they are. Well, I guess did we pick them? It was in the fall.
Yeah, it was in the fall.
Because I was picking pawpaws when I found the first batch.
That's right. That's right.
So it's early or late summer, early fall into the winter, and there are several varieties or families of oyster mushrooms, and you can find them the different times of year.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the neat things about.
Oh,
okay.
You're in Iowa. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. We got 1 inch and 3/10 this week. All right. Not so remote Alaska. Hello. It's good to see you guys here.
Good to see you.
So weather in Alaska, are you guys still pretty cold? Hello from
Bonnie.
Ontario.
Hi, Bonnie.
Patty. All right. You guys up north, Alaska and Ontario, what are you guys' temperatures doing? Are you cold? Because we're actually got a chance of snow this week.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's not like
mid-April in the Flint Hills. That's not normal.
No.
Now we get them in March sometimes, but
yeah, when we were in Wyoming, it was common to get a blizzard. He's gonna go check. It sounded like the door opened. So it's Tuesday snow and cold. Not so remote Alaska, 51 degrees Fahrenheit right now. So you're not much colder than us right now. Yeah. Cool. So catch everybody up. We had an exciting week on the homestead. We were guests on Two Families Live and on Monday night. So if you didn't get to catch that, go back and catch it. And that we had a blast. We had a blast with visiting with Daryl and Sherry. And then we had my birthday this week. We did some foraging. Didn't really find a whole lot. We tried some fishing yesterday. Didn't get any fish to bite. It was raining and
yeah, we're on a good day. We just went out looking for some asparagus and I threw the fishing pole in the car. It's mud season in Alaska.
Yeah, we understand that one from being in Wyoming, mud season. And then so many, Ben's Over Acres says there's so many chemicals used that it's hard to forage. Yeah.
So one of the things Ben's Over that I try to do is definitely uphill. So stuff that's kind of upland, that gets less chemicals because everything washes downhill, right? And so that's good places to look. I look at if there's a pasture that has quite a few cedar trees and some lespedeza in it, cerisa, I'll go look around the ends of it because I know it's not getting sprayed, or it wouldn't have all that there. That's kind of good places to look. CRP ground. It's been in CRP for a few years. That's good places to look. And that gets you away from the chemicals.
Bonnie says it's nice in Canada. They'll be cutting grass soon, and Not So Remote Alaska says 2 feet of snow, almost 2 feet of snow gone in a week.
Wow.
Yeah. We always joked in Wyoming where we were at that it never melted. It just wore out blowing from blowing from Nebraska to and back. But yeah, Nebraska and South Dakota and blow over there and then blow right back. But no, we'd get the muddy season, and we had that bentonite clay. Oh gosh, they'd have to chain up to go out into the oil fields to do their work because of the mud. Yeah. So you can totally get that.
And we get muddy here.
Yeah,
kind of.
It's a little muddy right now, and there's it's a clay-based soil, clay gumbo kind of stuff.
And so we've been helping move cattle on the grass and burning that kind of stuff. It's been burning season. This week we're moving cattle onto that grass. We'll burn a week or so ago.
It's popping up like crazy. I still have not got my burning video done. I got to get that finished. Like we need some more. I need to take footage of the grass. So we burned that 2 weeks ago now. Burned that 2 weeks ago, and show you guys the difference in the grass and how much that really does help those kinds of grasses that we have here. And then maybe you talk about benefits of burning on that video.
Yeah, I mean, do that.
Yeah. 66 acres in crop for 30 plus years. Okay.
CRP.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
CRP. Okay.
The ends of CRP is a good place to look for foraging. I mean, that's where stuff gets to grow up and things, and not many chemicals used, and that's a good place to forage. And also, I'm going to tell you what else CRP. If there's farm ground around it, there's feed around it, and there's water around it, that CRP, that grass gets tall, that's the place to hunt. Deer are going to bed in there. Quail are going to go in there. Yeah, that's where you need to be hunting.
Bonnie says this time of year they usually still have snow, but what a shock. Would love to plant my garden, but it's way too early. Yeah, we've got started on some of our garden, and it's a little bit. Julie says it's 63 and sunshiny today, 40 and snow tomorrow. Well, Julie, shut the door, honey. Keep that stuff up there.
Yeah,
it's coming for us Tuesday. It's coming for us Tuesday. My daddy always calls and says, "Shut the gate, sister. It's cold down here," because he's in Oklahoma. But yeah.
Julie, your guys' name was said a lot at our house this week.
Yeah, checklist and making sure we contacted who we needed to contact about hogs and going off, and
Yeah, we did haul. We hauled off 4 butcher hogs and a calf this week.
Yeah, and so that's the one. And we did a couple weeks ago. We took Miriam and her babies off.
Yeah, we sold our goats. And we hauled off 1 calf. Got some more cattle.
Yeah, we got more cattle.
We sold all our cattle that were invested on, all our background and stockers and stuff. So
Ben's Over Acres says that's what it's used for, hunting. Yeah.
It's very good for that. And there's some other benefits to it, but it definitely benefits the wildlife.
Yeah.
It does some good for the ground too, to do that for a season.
Have it rest
for a while. And if it's the right CRP, it does a lot for seeding. And there's a lot of water retention.
So a lot of you may not know, our homestead is, we purchased it, and 9 acres of it was tillable ground, and we are working on reclaiming that for pasture. And so we're finding some forage stuff in it as well. And so
not using really chemicals in it. I'm using some other methods. Not to say I won't ever, because I'm not completely opposed to it in the right purposes and the right applications. I'm definitely not opposed to putting nitrogen and putting chemical fertilizer on it at the right times and stuff. But Julie says they're looking forward to the pork.
Well, we had some pork this morning for breakfast. We fried up some pork chops out of the hogs that we processed in the fall.
Which there's videos of on our channel of that. Yes.
So we're working on cleaning out a freezer so that we can get ready for Tatanka to come back from freezer camp. So we can put all that meat in the freezer.
Put some hamburger away.
Put some hamburger away.
And they in our pasture we've seeded some Korean Lespedeza, which you guys from Iowa, it's not Sarisa, it's Korean.
Not Sarisa.
It's Korean Lespedeza, which is a lot more like alfalfa. Very good grazing. It takes the grazing very well.
It doesn't seem to be as invasive.
Yeah, it's not.
It's harder to grow.
And so, but it is definitely more grazable, more palatable, has a higher food value, all that, and we have a little bit of fescue in there. We have some broma growing in there.
A little bit of blue.
There's a lot of blue stems come up in it. And I actually last year walking through here, I found a little bit of Bermuda, and I have no idea where that came from because we are not in Bermuda grass country. Must have been in bale hay or something.
Must have.
But anyhow, and I don't know where that would have came from because that's not hay around here. But we also planted some wheat on it.
Yep.
And that wheat is up and doing good and looking good. It kind of was there all winter, and they kind of ate on it. But it didn't grow very fast, and now it's coming on with the sunshine and the water, and our cattle are eating it really good, and that's kind of lets everything else grow while they're eating on that, and gives us more production per acre.
We had a funny, when we've tried to figure out how to film while we're like gathering animals. So like when we were separating the hogs and loading them and everything, the wind was pretty rough. So it's hard to set up that camera and it not blow over. So we didn't get it done. I wish I had, because when we went out to load Tatanka, Freedom chased the trailer. Freedom, if you don't know the story of Freedom is our milk cow. And Freedom's dry right now. She's going to calve at the end of next month. She's got a little over a month to go on her gestation. And she was a 4-H animal. And so a little girl raised her from a bottle calf and showed her as a calf and then as a heifer, and then showed her as in milk. And so she loves to trailer. And so she was chasing the trailer. We had to fight her off to keep her from loading up into the trailer. And she was so mad at us because we wouldn't take her in the trailer. But she didn't want to go where we were going, and we didn't want her to take her. We didn't want to take her where we were going.
I'm not taking her to the milk processor.
No, she's not going to the processor. But it was funny. It was so funny. Her kicking up her heels and chasing that trailer. Usually you're chasing cows to try to get them in a trailer, or you're chasing her away from the trailer.
We also had a pig get out of the pen while we were trying to load. We got a panel and we got him cornered, and we were okay. Now how are we going to get him over in the pen? Because I couldn't open the gate anywhere where he was at.
He climbed the fence.
He climbed right back in. Got out the same way got in the same way he got out. Hey, Ecocentric.
Hey. Yeah.
Good to see you.
Good to see ya.
Julie, I hope you guys really do enjoy that pork. It is not our typical pork, but it ought to be very good. We little different breed pigs than we tend to raise, but they ate good, and they ought to be really good to eat.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys are happy with them.
I didn't get weight. I'll call them Monday and find out what the weights were on them. Yeah, take them off. And then we have 10 new hogs on the homestead today. Little mama had her babies, and so there's a short video up on those if you haven't seen that already, that you can check those out and see mama's little babies. And I'm super disappointed. They didn't come on my birthday, and they're not spotted. So
told y'all we'd let the cat or the pig out of the bag tonight.
Yeah, let the pig out of the bag, yes. But they are so cute. And Hannah's home visiting from Kansas City, and so she got to hold them and helped me rescue one that was stuck. And yeah, so she's camera shy, so you won't hardly ever see her on videos. She's on some of our old ones, but Hannah's really shy, so she wasn't. Whenever I brought out the camera and turned it on, she was gone. But yeah, she enjoyed getting out there and holding the pigs. Little Mama is super, super gentle. She did not like. We had a laying hen go in there and try, cleaning up feed, and she did not like that. And we had another thing that I'm going to shoot a video on. We have been considering a livestock guardian dog, but we have 2 dogs. We have, when the kids grow up, they leave their dogs.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that.
Move off and leave the dog.
Yeah, they grow up, move off, leave the dog. So we have a mountain cur hound and we have a beagle hound that are the kids. So Saddle, our mountain cur hound, is Houdini. We cannot keep him up. We can't put him in anything that will keep him in. 9 years, we never had a problem keeping him in except for kennels. He climbed kennels or dig out. But we kept him put up, and he just realized that he can get loose. So so I put his collar back on him because people were thinking that he was a stray because we're out in the middle of nowhere. And trying to pick him up, and he is crazy about those baby pigs. So he's guarding the pig pen.
We had checked on her once, and we were in the house, and our son was getting ready to or he had left, I guess.
Yeah, Luke had left.
And we heard the dog barking, and we got out, looked out there, and there's baby pigs running around.
Hey, there's baby pigs. And so we went out there, and she had one pinned, and so Hannah and I rescued it, but he was upset over those babies squealing.
Yeah,
and like once we got out there, he was fine. He quit barking. He wasn't being aggressive or anything towards her.
He went in the pen with you.
He did. He didn't go to her. He went
over to her feed pan to see what he could.
Yeah, there was a little bit of dog food in there in the pig pen. Hi, Colleen.
And then, even when I was in there messing with her, I sat in there with her for quite a while. He just laid down in front of the pen, not even really looking in the pen, looking out the other way with it to his back. And that's where he's staying. He's laying out in front of that pen. He's not really trying to get in or trying to get after those babies. But boy, if one of them starts squealing, he raises a ruckus and barking towards the house.
Wanting us to come check on him.
We know that something's going on. So that's kind of cool.
And we haven't, even though the chickens have been out the last few days, we haven't had trouble with eagles carrying them off. So I think he's doing a good job. We may have our livestock guardian dog.
But definitely hoping that he keeps the coons out of the garden.
Yes.
Last year was the first year we really had evidence of coons in the garden. We've had a lot of trouble with coyotes carrying off cantaloupes and watermelons. But last year was the first year we had trouble with coons and corn and such.
Yeah, and we don't have near the coyote activity up close to the house anymore that he's loose. But we've got to train him to stay closer to home. He's getting too close to the main road and getting in the main road.
Kind of runs on the highway a little bit.
Yeah. That's kind of scary. We don't want that for him, and we don't want that for someone else. I mean, that's not good stewardship on our side, on our part, to let him do that. So we're gonna have to figure that out, how to protect him and protect others, so that they don't. I mean, I would hate that for someone that if they just couldn't avoid him, and I don't want them to hurt themselves trying to avoid him or someone else trying to avoid him. So,
Colleen, I know Cindy's already told you hi, and hi from me too, but and I've told you this before, but I love the name of your homestead. Joyful Abundance Homestead. I love that.
Wow. We've been on 30 minutes already.
6 people on
6
here.
people.
Right.
So, yeah. So we talked about foraging. We talked about what we've done foraging.
Yeah, I want to encourage you guys, if you're foraging right now, the dandelion green or dandelion blooms are a good thing to be foraging. I saw poke greens this week. If you eat poke greens, I've always been taught that they need to be parboiled a couple of times to get there. There's something in there that causes you trouble with your stomach that you need to get out of there. I know some people argue with me, but I don't know. The old people I learned it from had eaten them most of their life, and I think they knew what they were talking about. The poke greens are out. Morels, it's their time. Most places we haven't found any yet, but there's definitely. I've got a friend that's found some, not too far from us. So.
And our son is looking hard where he works.
And he lives a little north, but he's been looking. And another edible that's out there right now that we have eaten some is redbud blooms. Mm-hmm. Redbud blooms are really actually good, especially if you get them just as they start to open up. They're really sweet, and that's a good thing to forage right now.
So does anyone have any questions about our homestead or about us? And if it's one we don't want to answer, we'll just tell you we don't want to answer it.
Pretend we didn't see it. Oh. Yeah. You guys were glad to answer questions. We don't know it all by any means, and we learn constantly. And we make sure we're around people that can help us learn and teach us.
And if we don't know, we'll tell you.
And we go somewhere between farming and homesteading.
And ranching.
Yeah, and ranching.
Hey, Robertsons.
Well, do they actually have like cell phones in Texas?
There you go.
Yeah. Good to see you guys on here, Rusty and Rachel. That's good. I'm glad you guys had a good trip.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we kind of go between homesteading and farming and ranching. And we do some building and stuff. So, hopefully we can help you guys. How deep do you plant onions?
Oh.
Well, that depends. Okay. Let me tell you. I usually just try to cover the white when I plant the plants. And that's kind of how deep I get them. I just cover the white till it's the green sticking out. Sometimes we've planted them a little shallower and had good luck with that. I knew a guy, and I seen this work. He dug a pretty deep, like maybe 4 or 5 inches deep, and he planted his onions in there, and he just covered the bulb part of the plants. And when they come up a little taller, he put some more dirt in there. And come up a little taller, he put some more dirt in there till he filled that whole ditch in there. And he had a nice long onion, like a big bulb that was kind of elongated. And the ones that didn't put on that, they had a real long white stem on them. They were really good eating onions. I've seen a guy do that, and that's something. But I don't know, Colleen, if you're planting plants or bulbs.
Yeah, if you're planting the little sets, the little bulbs, you just want them covered, just deep enough to cover them. A lot of times we'll just have our ground soft and just push them in with our thumb.
Yep.
And
just get them underground.
Just get them underground. So it depends on if it's plants or bulbs. Coming through Dallas, you poor things. Oh my gosh. Wow. That is the worst traffic in the world, I think. Ugh. Well, luckily, the few times I've gone through there in the last few years, someone else was driving. My brother-in-law was driving when we went through Dallas both times a couple of years ago. And then 3 years ago, my sister drove when we went through Fort Worth side.
Yeah. We'll pray for you guys if you're going through Dallas. Yeah. Bonnie, Patty, I take it you're a Texan.
It's an E, Petty.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
But yeah, well, I'm born and raised Okie, so I have to make a Texas joke every now and then. It's kind of a prerequisite, I guess. But yeah, I have relatives in Texas that definitely are on their phones and Facebook a lot.
So, an inch over the little tips. So, are you planting the little sets? If you're planting the little sets, you're probably fine. If you're planting an onion plant that's usually a green thing like this, and then has white down here and the roots, then you don't want to cover the whole thing. Yeah, she's sets. You're probably fine.
Yeah,
an inch over. If your dirt is loose, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. Plus, yeah, I think you're going to be fine.
Yeah,
you're going to be fine.
If it's hard clay, and I'm going to tell you, if you've planted them like that already, and you've got some harder clay, that if a week or maybe 2 weeks you don't see anything, I'd go and kind of start scratching the top and see if you can break it open, because sometimes they'll have a little harder time coming out of clay that
if you get rain,
yeah, it kind of cakes over. But other than that, you'll be fine. It's especially if you got pretty decent dirt.
So the other thing about bulbs and plants, the difference between planting the little bulbs or the sets and planting the plants can be the size of your onions. You got sandy soil, so you probably, even with the sets, get a bigger bulb on your sets.
Yeah, then you're probably good.
You're probably good with that sandy soil.
Sandy soil, an inch deep, probably really good actually.
Yep. And onions are heavy feeders, so they like lots and lots of
nitrogen,
fertilizer.
But they also, onions need more than nitrogen. They're not really a grass like corn. They need, they're a bulb, so they need lots of phosphorus and potassium too. So make sure you're getting a good round of fertilizer. If you're going to use chemical fertilizer, 20-20-20 is a good onion fertilizer.
It's Colleen's first time with onions. Okay, so your little bulbs may give you they're going to give you a smaller onion bulb because seed you're going to notice with the little sets. The plants, this is their first year. They've been grown from seed. And so they are going to try to put on a bulb. And so that's the difference in planting sets and
Colleen. But the big difference you're going to see is they won't keep as long as the bulbs you grow from the plants. You can still get some decent bulbs. They definitely not quite as big, but you can still get plenty big.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of times when we've planted those and they start putting on seed heads, we just snap those seed heads off. That helps. It's definitely not perfect, but it helps.
It does. It does. Snapping the seed head off does weaken the plant. So it's really, you don't want to snap it off right before you water. You don't want to snap it off right before it rains. So because you've got that open until it heals. And so once they put on that seed head, the inside of that onion is going to rot faster. It's going to have a hollow spot, and so they don't keep as long.
But a good thing about onions, and I don't know how to use them, is onions freeze well.
They do. They freeze very well. So even if you pull them as greens, that's the one thing about the little sets. They make great greens. They make really good green onions. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Robertsons. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Yep. Thanks, Robertsons. So let's see. I had something else.
We used to plant a lot of the sets, the bulbs, and we would plant them really thick, and we'd go through picking them for green onions. And that's how we did most of our green onions at one time. And so we'd plant them really thick, and then we'd leave them pretty spaced out, and we'd get bulbs enough to eat for a while and freeze some. Colleen, I believe that the right time of year, you can order plants from Dixondale.
Yes.
And if you'll call them or get in contact with them, they can help you get the right onion for your area. We just typically go to
our local farm and ranch store.
Our farm and ranch stores just carry those this time of year, like they do sweet potatoes.
And they're Dixondale.
Yeah, and they carry them from Dixondale. And now the first thing they'll put out is the bulbs.
Yeah.
When it gets a little bit closer to like time you plant tomatoes, they're going to have the plants out. Which usually, it's time to get them in the ground when they got them out.
But we do the same thing with the plants. We plant them close and then thin them because we really enjoy green onions.
We don't do as much of that as we used to because our Egyptian walking onions are so productive.
Yeah,
we still do because that's a little bit of a habit, but not as intensely, I guess, as we used
to plant them very like a finger width apart, and then we would thin them.
Plant a whole bunch of onions in a row. And then as soon as they started putting up a good,
green on
4-inch top, they were getting pulled and eaten.
Yeah.
And we still, even with our Egyptian walking onions, we keep a jar of green onions this time of year in the refrigerator.
Sherry's here. Whoop, whoop. Hi, Sherry.
Hey.
We got famous people here. We got Robertson's Belly Acres and Sherry from Two Family Homestead. Cool.
Sherry, we were saying earlier, we really enjoyed you guys visiting with you on your live the other night. That was a lot of fun.
That was so fun.
One of the things in this homesteading, YouTubing mess we've gotten into, there are a lot of things that I do. I think, man, this would be cool to have video of, but there is no way I can do what I'm doing and video. And when you're sorting cattle and stuff, you can't video that. There has to be somebody videoing you really if it's going to work. I have set it up before and just kind of let you guys just watch what from the corner, but I sorted some this week and I thought, man, that'd make a cool video, but it doesn't work out. So hopefully you guys will get to see some videos in the next week of us burning.
Yeah. Let's see.
Dixondale. We have Tractor Supply.
Okay.
Would like to try Egyptian walking onions. Well, Colleen, I bet I know somebody that can set you up with that. Get in contact with us. I think she can get in contact with your email.
Just whenever it'll be later in the season, whenever those whenever they put on their bulblets. So they'll put on a little bulblet on the top. Their seed head comes out to be a little bulblet. Right now, all those bulblets are sprouted, and if I try to ship them, they don't ship well at this point. But yes, we'll get with you. Dixondale, it's online. It's a big farm in Texas.
But they're good about having for other regions.
And I believe it's with an X instead of a CK.
Yeah, it is.
It's DIX.
Like Dixie.
Yeah, DIXSON. And then Dale. And it's
Sherry, we're doing good.
Yeah.
And we did enjoy that. Yeah, we'll do it in the future with you.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Yes, we'll do another one.
I spent
GoPro.
I spent completely all of our camera budget for the next 400 years on Cindy's good camera that we use. Yes. A GoPro would be cool. I always thought it'd be cool to strap a GoPro to the head of a calf and send it through the working shoots and kind of see what that looked like.
Oh, Bonnie, you're still in lockdown in Ontario. Our family in Manitoba is in lockdown as well. So yes, Dixon, DIXSON. Yes.
Hey, Robertson's, see if you can put a link up for Dixondale Onion Farm. See if you can get that put up. We'd appreciate that if you can. I know you're not on your computer, so if you can't, that's okay.
Consider putting yours on Smudge.
Yeah. Well,
GoPro.
From what I've seen, the footage of that dog, most of it would be
laying around,
sitting, staring at the same place while he's sleeping and snoring.
Bless him. Oh, it's not a link. Let's see here.
Yeah, Sherry, I think she's going to make you better so that works better for you.
I'm still learning this. There it is. That's what I need right there. Okay, Miss Sherry.
Yeah.
But yeah. So our onions come from them, but we get them at our local feed store. And she talked about Smudge. I thought about the dog today.
There you go.
There you go. Now you got your wrench, dear heart. Thank you. Yeah. So Gary's. There you go. Thank you,
Sherry.
Dixondale. Okay. Oh, it's no S either. Dixondale.
Yeah,
okay. XON. Okay.
So there you go, Colleen. That'll help you out.
And they can set you up with the type of onions for your area.
Yes, definitely. And that's important. That's something I think we need to remember is that this YouTube community for homesteaders, it's connected us all over the world.
Yes.
Like literally, there's a lot of people in Australia involved in this. We see people from South Africa, Great Britain, all over. What's the Paul, the Dutch? Where's he at? Holland. He's in Holland. And so we have to, when we start giving advice, we have to understand that people are in different regions. And Colleen, New Jersey is way different than the Flint Hills of Kansas, and we're gonna just say that straight out. More than just the gardening, I'm sure.
Rachel, thank you. Sherry found it. Yeah, thank you. Oh, you got it too. You thought she found it. Yeah, thank you guys so much for looking for that. Yeah. Yeah, that was right. Yeah, there we go. And they'll help you, and they can ship them. They can ship them as well.
Yeah.
And get you set up there. Now, I don't know, I don't know if they have a minimum. I would assume it, when you get a bunch of plants, they're usually around 100 in a bunch, around that. Hey, there's drops. But, you know, we got people from New Jersey, East Coast and West Coast on here, all the way north to Ontario. And we got people up in Alaska, West Coast, Northwest Coast. So, yeah.
And we got people from Texas.
And they're not from Texas. They're just traveling through Texas.
No, we had some,
oh.
somebody told me, I forgot the name now.
Somebody else in Texas?
Yeah.
Okay.
That assured me that there were cell phones in Texas.
There were cell phones in Texas. I know there are. I have family in Texas. You just planted
acre cabbage.
Oh yeah, and rainbow Swiss chard. We had chard over winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was amazed at what overwintered. So it got an actual temperature of 26 below here.
Yeah.
We got lots of snow in February when things should have been kind of starting to
sprout out,
get ready, and we got 26 below actual temperature. We had wind chills of under 30 below zero Fahrenheit. And I couldn't believe what overwintered in our garden.
It's crazy.
Stuff we just didn't dig up, we didn't pick or whatever, and it just overwintered.
Yeah.
Our kale has overwintered great. We had turnips overwinter. Yeah. They weren't great turnips when they overwintered, but they've put on seed heads, and we've been eating those the blooms on salads, and they are amazing.
They're good. And I sold some at the farmer's market yesterday, blooms. I sold some of our greens. They went really, really well. Yes, Sherry, it's going to snow here too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Drops is out on the west coast of Washington. Yep.
Yeah.
I guess you're not on the coast, but
yeah,
that's the west coast for us.
We're in the northwest region of the United States. There we go. We got our good teacher geography voice going there. Your kale, carrots, onions survived, and Brussels sprouts. Yep, that's about.
We had leeks and onions. We had chard.
Carrots and chard. We did not. Oh, we pulled our Brussels sprouts and fed them.
Yeah.
We are not going to try those again. It just was not a good work for our area. Excuse me. The palm trees in the South Texas got hit. Yes. Yes, they did.
Yeah, drops family.
Okay, drops on the eastern side of Washington.
Side. I was aware of where Spokane was. The state of Washington is the western. It's the West Coast, right? Right next to D.C.
For all us inlanders, you know.
I've never lived very far different east or west of where I live. Within a couple of states of east and west. I've moved north quite a ways.
We went to Wyoming.
Yeah, but which is a state or so west, but the state north of us is on the east side of this last state I lived in. So
drops had leeks and salsify.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Salsify. I'm going to say it wrong too.
I'm not seeing it. Salsify.
Salsify.
Yeah, that's a root crop. That's like an old European medieval root crop. Yeah.
Cool.
It's probably somewhat similar to parsnips, maybe. If I'm wrong, drops, correct me. Kind of, yeah.
Oh, Julie's getting asparagus. I mowed our asparagus because we didn't mow it. We usually mow it as soon as everything's dead, and usually mow it and then put chicken manure on it. And so I was hauling straw, and so I mowed, and I chopped up 3 asparagus spears. I was heartbroken, but I couldn't see them for all the dead asparagus fronds that were there.
As an oyster taste, okay. Salsify, yeah.
Let's see. Oh, rhubarb. Woo! No, ours. I killed ours. I planted it.
Our rhubarb died, but we've got a friend that, man, his is looking good.
It's looking good. I'm gonna go steal some. He lets me, but yeah. Yeah.
Grows in poor soil. Yeah. So, with a long taproot like that, drops. I believe that's probably a mineral miner. And if you can ever let that die back onto the ground, that does a lot of good for your soil.
Even if he just pulls the root and drops the leaves
back on the ground, that does a lot of good for your soil to pull all the minerals deeper down the soil up to the top.
Yeah, I sold mint at the farmer's market, mint sprigs. We sold mint. We sold sage. My sage wintered over. We had some cilantro winter over. We had our Egyptian walking onions wintered over really well. And let's see what else.
Drops, I wonder if
Horseradish
ruminants would eat salsify tops. I wonder what that's like. Might be something put in the soil a little, in the pasture a little bit. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I don't plant anything in the pasture. I can't feed the cattle because that's what it's there for. But yeah.
Yeah, I killed our rhubarb. When I moved our rhubarb, we had a real good establishment at our homestead. I say out west. We rented a homestead west of us, and where we are right now, about 13 miles. And it was a little north and a little west of us, and where we're at now before we bought our place. And we had rhubarb established really, really well. And I moved it, and I picked the wrong spot to put it. I put it in it was too much of a clay soil. And so digging the hole, all I did was trap the water in that hole, and they rotted. So
the chickens look at it wanting to eat it. Probably.
Yeah. That's my big thing with Saddle running around. Every now and then, if he thinks there's something going on in the chicken house, he rushes the door and busts through the outside gate. I say the door. He rushes through the gate. Yeah, and he rushes through the gate to go see what the problem is, and lets all the chickens out. So,
well, either that, or if he thinks there's something in the scrap pile that we've thrown in there that he wants to eat, he goes through the gate.
And he likes to go in there and eat their feed. And I'm like, dude, you got a full bowl of dog food over there, and you're going in there and eating that corn. But he likes the corn.
The corn, our
cracked
mix
corn.
has it has a lot of soybean oil in it.
Okay.
And it has a lot of reclaimed French fry oil in it.
Okay.
And I'm sure he likes that, but it also has brewer's grain in it, and those dogs will eat that brewer's grain.
Okay. So he's going to be like Hank the cow dog laying out there after drinking the silage pit. Yeah, drinking the water from the silage
pit. We've got a beagle and a mountain cur, and we joke about them being ranch security. That's Grover and Hank the cow dog. And if you guys don't know who Hank the cow dog is, I'm sorry, and you've lived under a rock.
Bacon, yes, they do like bacon grease. I am stingy, and they don't get my bacon grease.
So Drops, I grew up running blue tick hounds. My dad was a hound man when I was young, and we put a lot of grease got saved to put on dog food. And sometimes he cooked his own dog food out of it, cornmeal and meat and stuff like that. And definitely bacon grease got added to that.
Julie's got sage, lemon balm, rosemary, and the chamomile's coming up in the wash tub. Awesome. My chamomile's not coming up, but I do have packets to reseed, and I need to get that in before the snow, just so that it'll have the moisture.
Got 8 people in here.
Yeah, that's cool. Thanks, guys. Our lemon balm, I forgot lemon balm. We got a lot, several mints, and of course garlic. We've been thinning the garlic. Oh, Hank the cow dog.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So, Colleen, I know you have a girl named Miranda.
Yes.
You ought to read Hank the cow dog books to her. There was a cowboy out in the Panhandle, Oklahoma, Panhandle, Texas, New Mexico area, and he wrote a whole series. There's like 80-some books of these ranch dogs named Hank and Drover and their adventures, and they are hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, rolling the ground laugh, and they are so funny, and they are, if you've ever been around rural dogs, you know that's what they got to be thinking. Like he had to tap into one of them's brain or something, because it is exactly what. And the Hank goes drinking with the coyotes, and he goes down to the silage pit and drinks the silage juice and gets hung over, and then he goes and rolls in the sewer lagoon, so he has that nice manly smell before he goes and sees a neighboring bird dog, and it's just hilarious.
Bye, Sherry. Thanks for coming in. She's got to go edit a video.
Cool.
So Colleen, yes, Hank the cow dog. Also, on iHeartRadio, and it might be on some of the other spots too, like Spotify or whatever. there is a Hank the Cowdog. They've done 5 radio reproductions of it. HEB, which is a huge grocery store chain in Texas, and Matthew McConaughey produced that, and it is really, really good. And if you guys listen for those are really fun. And so Hank the Cowdog, I don't know how your library is working, but ours is you call ahead and they'll pull the books for you, and then you pick them up, and they have them outside, or however. I haven't done a book drop. I think she meets you outside on certain days.
Yeah.
And I don't know. So I don't know how your libraries are working, Colleen, but those are amazing books.
I imagine you can find some of the books online to read too.
Right.
And I'm guessing that Matthew McConaughey is not the only one that's ever read those live online that can be found.
They did like a radio production, like they had like a radio play. Yeah, they had the sound.
Everything. It was really cool.
And multiple voices, and actors doing the voices.
Rachel at Robertson's Valley Acres pointed that out to us.
Yes. She grew up.
Every rural kid in Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Wyoming would grow up reading those books because they're ranch books, so it's pretty cool. But yeah.
Yeah, and
Hank the Cowdog.
Hank the Cowdog. So the guy that wrote the books ranched near where Rachel Robertson grew up part of the time of her childhood, and so she would meet him regularly. He would come to the school and read to them and share his books with them. Oh, there's Robertsons. They're back.
Hey, Robertsons, did everything come out all right?
They probably stopped at Buc-ee's. Oh, my goodness. Buc-ee's is like Texas heaven. Everything's bigger in Texas, even the gas stations. It's like a Walmart gas station. I mean, you walk in there, and there is stuff everywhere, and they got a hot bar, they got food, they got water, they got drinks, they got everything in the world, purses, home decor. It's a Walmart.
John R. Erickson, that's who wrote Hank the Cowdog. Very good. Yes. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you. I couldn't.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, ain't Dallas fun? I hate Dallas. Like, that's a good reason to never go to Texas. I mean,
so whoever was driving, pull over and let another driver drive, because you're probably ready to have a heart attack.
You might have PTSD.
Yes. Buc-ee's is awesome. Yeah, my sisters have introduced me to Buc-ee's.
So for those people that have noticed that I razz Texas a little bit, I like West Texas. I like the Panhandle. And that's more my kind of part of the world. But East Texas has got way too many people in it for me. Yeah. Way too many people.
I have a lot. And there's
way too many people that were related to it. Let's put it that way.
I have family all over.
If you're watching this, I'm not including you guys. I like it when you guys go to Missouri or Oklahoma and I can see you there.
But Kenneth, he's talking about you, darling.
Yeah.
Oh man, I have lots and lots of cousins in East Texas, and I have some in Southwest Texas too. Yeah, I have some in
Dallas is a beach.
Dallas is the Loop. Yeah. The Loop. That Loop is a beach. Oh. Yeah. So yeah. But we got started on Hank the Cowdog when Luke was little and just went crazy with him. The kids all loved it. And we also, I'm a huge Laura Ingalls Wilder fan. And I have my prairie dress, but it has not been the weather cooperative enough for me to do chores in my prairie dress, because either it's too cold or the wind is blowing. And guys, he's laughing because
the Kansas wind, those thin dresses probably aren't.
I don't know how they did it. I guess they had
all dresses were different built than the ones you bought.
And they had petticoats and all kinds of stuff and bloomers underneath them. Don't have to wear a pair of leggings under mine. Worst up, the Loop was messed up worse than Pennsylvania roads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I drove through Dallas once. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were even at Athens.
Yeah.
The traffic was awful. Awful.
And that's south of
Not
Dallas.
just because there were so many people, because so many people that couldn't drive.
don't know how to do a roundabout or how to do a four-way stop.
Yeah, or got confused by a stoplight.
Yeah, we did have that.
I've lived places where there aren't those, and I still know how to use them.
Yeah, today Luke came to visit. He brought our farm truck. That was another exciting thing that happened. Luke brought our farm truck home yesterday. Buck and Cuss is back on the farm, and so
it's not running by any means.
Nope. But hopefully he's going to be easy. We can't wait for the prairie dress video. I've got to get that shot. With the wind, I'm like, yeah. It's kind of crazy. And the pigs, they'll chew on my clothes. So I hate for them to chew up my dress.
Yeah, they'd love for that dress to flop over in there. Yeah. Get a good mouthful of
that. Colleen wants me to wear my prairie dress. But yeah, I didn't. I like it. It's a pretty dress, and I've worn it a few times. I wore it to church once. Yeah.
I've seen her in it. Yeah. I think it's great. Beautiful.
Oh. An old saloon, yeah. Drops. Oh my goodness, yeah. An old saloon. We don't have any old saloons around here. Sorry, dude.
So we've lived a lot of places where there are septic tanks and lateral lines, and when we moved to Kansas, we had a sewer lagoon.
Yes.
And we talked about a lagoon, and our youngest daughter, when she talks, sometimes she says some hilarious things. She says, "Isn't a lagoon where people go to drink beer?" We had to tell her she's thinking of saloon, but we joke often about driving by the lagoon.
Oh yeah, he drops. Oh yeah, he's blaming it on Robertson's. Yeah, Rusty did it. Yeah. Yeah. Throwing you under the bus, Rusty.
I'm going to tell you that Robertson's Rusty doesn't need your help. He'll get himself under there pretty quick.
Oh me. So we had an exciting week. And for those that are coming in late, yeah, the short bus.
The short bus. Yeah.
Yeah, busy weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing I hope you guys didn't miss is we do have baby pigs on the farm.
Baby pigs. They're so cute.
There is a short on our channel.
Short video. I put a short video up.
You can watch that. See the pigs, and I'm sure they will be in many more videos.
Yes, they will. And I must express my disappointment in Little Mama. They didn't come on my birthday, and they're not spotted. So that's my disappointment in Little Mama. But anyway, yeah, so we're having fun. Lots of busy. Trying to, even with the rain, we're still running. I feel like we're running behind trying to get everything done. I didn't get a lot of things. Yay for piglets. Yes. Bacon seeds.
Hopefully this week we get a lot more garden planting.
Yes. Hopefully after all the nastiness goes away.
Livestock moved around. You guys know, some of you know that I do some ranch work as employment too. And definitely it's time to put cattle on grass. So
I did some trading, Rusty. You'll be proud of me.
How many times can you own one pig? How many different separate times can you own one pig? But as soon as I get this one back, I'm going to call the guy and ask him if I can trade him something for this pig.
So we had a friend buy a half a hog that went to the locker on Friday. Yeah. He bought half of a hog that was going to the locker this past Friday. And then he bought a hog off of us as well, a feeder hog. And then he told Gary he wanted another half of a hog in May, and Gary said, well, I don't have any until May. Well, we had a cancellation for this set of hogs that went in April. In this half a hog cancellation. So I texted him and said, hey, do you want the other half of the hog do you want it this time? And he says, yeah, I do. And then later he says, but I don't think I need two hogs, whole hogs. So will you trade me? Wilby Bacon is the hog's name. Will you trade me Wilby for this other half of hog? And I was like, sure. And then he's like, when can you come get it? And I'm like, We don't have a truck. How am I gonna go get that hog?
So we'll figure that out.
We'll figure it out.
We definitely have.
We have lots of friends.
Most of our friends have trucks, so we'll get that without actually owning it. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how that kind of stock market works. My stock market usually has tails and ears and stuff like that, you know. But we did, guys. I'm just going to tell you, we invest in some cattle that we background and stocker calves and sell, and we did pretty good this time. So
nice profit this time.
You know, we profited, not quite 30%, just a little.
About 30, yeah, which is a good
less
investment.
Than 30, I guess maybe 25% we profited, and that's in 5 months. So that's pretty good investment. I mean, definitely some elbow grease on that.
Just borrow someone else's pig. That's called stealing. We don't think we'll do that.
I'm not in the business of loaning pigs, guys.
Just borrow somebody else's pig.
Yeah.
Send it back with one leg missing because you just couldn't hardly eat the whole thing at once, right? That's what they do with stock. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're right.
There might be a little stiggling go on in that deal too.
Yeah.
All right.
We have been on 1 hour and 6 minutes.
Wow. I know that we still got 5 people in here. I know that his way's going live tonight.
Yeah. But, it's his way's going live.
Yeah, but we're probably not robbing much from them right now. We'll get off here in a minute. Good to hear from you guys.
Yep. His way's live.
The lady from Alaska, what's her name? Ansa?
Oh.
I was hoping she'd be on here tonight. She was asking something about foraging and stuff. But anyhow, we definitely, it's foraging time, guys. It's gardening time. It is fishing time. I hope you guys are getting that done. Put food away. That's a big part of our homesteading journey. And those of you guys that know us know that homesteading is about food production for us.
You already had your 2 naps today, Drops. So you're good. I had a nap today. Oh, one more exciting.
While she was napping, I was still checking on baby pigs.
So my birthday video, y'all should have saw it. I got my big present on my birthday too. I got another carry canner because mine broke. I wore it smooth out, and so Gary got me another carry canner for my birthday.
I think it's something electrical on our old one, and I took it apart, and I could not find. I expected to find something that just was kind of shorting out, or like a fuse. I could not find it, so we bought her another one.
Yeah. So there wasn't a fuse in it.
I hope whoever needs a nap is not driving.
Yes, on Robertson's. Yeah, and I hope whoever's modding on here for us is not driving as well.
So if you need a nap when you're driving, it's best to wait till the other person's asleep too, so they don't scream and wake you up.
Probably the element.
I don't know, Drops. Like, I thought it was the cord at first, so I actually found another cord and replaced the cord because it would work, and then it quit working, and then I'd mess with it, move it around, and then it'd start working again. And I thought it was to shorten the cord, but it could be the element, I guess. It could have been.
Hey, Lori. How are you?
Yeah.
Coming in on. Glad to see you. Yeah, I don't know what it is, Drops. And it's one of those things that if you send it to somebody to fix it, it'll cost more than buying a new one. So you'll never tell, Robertson, who's a driving and who's a moderating. Oh me. Well, we're gonna get off of here. We're gonna let y'all go. Thermostat, maybe.
It might be.
So it won't light up or anything. No display. No nothing.
It's not getting power.
Like it's not getting power. And it gave me an error before it went dead, but I don't remember what that error.
Several times, like she'd have it set up and it'd be cooking before it went dead, and come back and it hadn't cooked.
Yeah, and it was like the screen was dead.
Yeah,
like no display.
But then push the buttons and come back on and start cooking again.
Yeah,
and so I was sure it was a short cord, but that didn't fix it.
So I don't know.
Yep,
night, everybody. So
over.
we're gonna get off here and we're gonna get going. Go check out Doug at His Way Homestead and say hello to Commander Bacon for us.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Have a blessed evening. We'll see ya.